ding dong, they just think they are. Another little wannabe gangster trying to play hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of the JC Shaw Motorsports podcast. We're here at the Winchester Speedway. Sitting next to me, we got Brian Ross, my crew chief, his son Isaac Ross, and then Harl Schaefer at the end.
What's up, guys?
So today we're going to be talking about how I'm running the throwback paint scheme to Brian. We're going to talk about his Winchester 400 win and kind of get a little detail on that, Brian.
Well, back in '99, we bought 2 cars down here, and basically it took a whole month to get ready, and we bought a rib cooker down here and bought a band down here, and we ended up finishing first and second in the 400 with the backup car. And, it was just like an awesome weekend, you know. It's like nothing went wrong, and it was just the greatest time. And you know, I tried to win in that race for, I don't know, I think 7 or 8 years, you know, and we finally pulled it off and got our name on the back of that Winchester t-shirt.
Well, that's definitely pretty cool. So, give us a little description of how that race went for you. What kind of happened throughout it? What went on, pretty much?
Well, first pit stop, we stopped, and there wasn't even, our pit stall was full with Kenny Tweedy's car and his crew. So, you know, we had to go
hey,
back out.
We got his car, by the way.
Yeah, I think you have that car as a sportsman car now. But so we went out and didn't get excited about nothing. You know, the 400 laps is a long race, and we just kept picking away at it and didn't worry about it. You know, and I mean, we never got into like the top 5 or whatever until like 100 to go, and saved some tires, and we had a set of tires for the end, and you know, and Brian, he blew it right front, and you know, it was kind of a cruise on to the win for the last maybe 20 laps. But you know, it's a long day out there, and takes a lot out of you, but you know, I was glad to finally win one.
I remember you telling stories about how people had to pretty much pull you out of the car at the end of the races. I mean, back then you didn't get the 75 laps straight up green and then a break. So
yeah, no, if it went, you know, 175 laps or 200 laps, that's what it was. And by the end of the day, you know, you're covered in rubber and oil dry and dust and all kinds of stuff, and you know, and that's just to be in the car it's a pretty much a 3-hour race most of the time. You know, it takes a lot out of you.
Was the car fast right out of the truck, or was there a lot of thrashing on it?
Oh no, we was pretty good when we unloaded. You know, I mean, the driver needs to get up to speed, and you know, and then you just keep tweaking on the car throughout the weekend and until you're comfortable. And we wasn't nowhere near sitting on the pole, but we thought we had a pretty good race car.
That's cool.
definitely. So, Isaac, this is your first time here at Winchester. Tell us what your thoughts are about it.
I'm pretty excited for the weekend. I have a lot of good experience helping me, Dad, obviously, and then my shot guy, Dark Suspensions, Josh. He sent us down here with a good setup. I think we're going to be really strong out of the gate or out of the box tomorrow. So I'm just excited to get on track tomorrow and see what we got.
I was going to say, you had no fear of getting up by that wall, literally on lap 1.
No.
Your first time ever here.
Yeah, you looked really good out there. You really did.
Testing was fun yesterday. Up to speed pretty quick, and just minimum adjustments throughout the day. I think most of the adjusting was on me more than anything, just trying to get me more comfortable. So I think when we go with some new tires on it tomorrow, we'll be pretty good.
Well, nice. That's going to be a blast to see you run. You'll be running the rookie race and the sportsman race, correct?
Yep, we'll be running Friday night in the New Stars race, and then
Awesome.
40 laps on Saturday, and try to get a rifle before we leave here.
Yeah, you're going to get a rifle before me. I'm already calling it. We're going to sweep the weekend.
Sounds good to me.
I'm going to take a rifle from him and go deer hunt when I get home.
There you go. So, Brian, I'm running this tribute paint scheme to you and Darren Odell. What do you think about that?
It's pretty cool, you know. Travis did that down, you know, for the cars race, and then you've done it for me, you know, and Darren and everything. And it's cool, you know, to see the old Pro Cup looking car running around the racetrack again with my number on it and everything, you know, and I can't thank you enough for all that.
No problem.
It's really neat.
Yeah, it would definitely be pretty cool to see it on track.
Yeah, that's the car I grew up watching. That's the first memories I really have are him in that car traveling around and doing the Pro Cup tour. I was 4 years old when we started doing that.
Oh, wow.
That's the car I first remember watching.
I was going to say, I was trying to get pictures of the white car that you won the 400 with. I didn't feel like full wrapping a whole entire race car, though.
No.
And then with us bailing out on Winchester and then deciding last second, that would have really sucked.
Yeah, it would have.
But, so we'll go on to our next segment here. Brian, very big question here. Would you ever hop in a race car here at Winchester Speedway? If so, why? If not, why?
Well, I probably would, but there's no way I'd run the 400 no more. You
No.
know, I'll be 62 in January, and you know, and just I don't think I'd have it in me to run that long. But to come down and you know, it'd be really great to have a sportsman car here to race against Isaacs and stuff, because me and Isaacs never raced together yet. But one of these days, I hope that happens, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
Well, that's pretty cool. Me and you've got to race each other a couple times. And
Yeah.
the last one didn't go so great,
No,
but
last one didn't go so well. But we both had tore up race cars, but I guess that, you know, stuff like that happens once in a while, and you know, I wasn't upset about it as much as you was. But,
yeah,
you know, it's,
I felt horrible. But you're the guy who also had to fix it too.
Yeah, but I get paid to fix it anyway, so
Yeah.
you know.
It was a win-win for you.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Winchester, the history and all of that's gone on here, what was your first race here?
Oh, it was, I don't know, probably back in the early 90s with a street stock, and they had a claim rule back then, and we was really fast with it, and then somebody tried to claim us, and I refused to sell it, so we ended up loading up and going home, you know, but at least I got to make some laps around here and hot lap that day and everything, and it's like,
Nice.
I'm going to be coming back, you know, and it just progressed from street stocks to outlaw late models, the old Magnum Old series, and went from there to, you know, CRA, Kendall series, and then the Pro Cup series, ran an ASA car here. I think I even ran a modified down here back in the day with the motor on the left and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I just always loved this place in Salem. You know, I've got a lot of history of both places, and I just like high banks going fast.
I say we should put that 57 Chevy back together and see that run around here. That'd be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
Yep, it would be.
You touched on the Hooters Pro Cup. I remember going down to Lakeland, Florida, I think it was, for the USA, or
Yeah.
it was the championships, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I remember come on the radio and told the rookie of the Northern Series do his burnout and turn 2 and
4, whatever,
Yeah,
and
and
then
then
the
the other-
champion down in turn 1. So I think I don't remember who it was. It was me and
Bobby Gill?
Jason Sarvis, and we're both. And then I don't know. There was three of us out there doing burnouts or something like that. I don't remember what it was.
yeah. So they, I remember someone, I don't know who it was. They said, "Well, just do a burnout from turn 2 to turn 4." He blew your tire up. We changed that for you.
I was gonna say, is that the story where the tires got flat on the track and you couldn't drive it back?
No, he was doing his burnouts and blew a tire and he couldn't make it to
Yeah.
victory lane.
That's what it was. Yep. So we had some big news get released this week. I will be driving for Landon Huffman in the Huffman Racing number 75 here in a couple weeks at Tri-County. What do you guys think about that?
I'm hoping it goes really good for you. You get to go, I mean, a speedway you've never been to before. You're with sounds like a pretty good team to me. I think they won when you went down and hung
Yeah,
out with
I got
them,
the full Huffman Racing experience when I went down. That was fun.
It sounds like you got some good equipment to go race in, and wish you the best of luck down there. Be pretty cool for you, I think.
Yeah, it definitely will be.
Yep. I think it'd be something that really help you do your racing a lot further.
Yeah.
I think. I think
I will say my social media has gone nuts since that
Is that
post
right?
went out.
Yeah.
I've probably gained about 300 followers across all
That's
three
cool.
platforms, and the pages are going freaking insane. So
Well, that's cool.
Yep.
But-
Yep.
Isaac, we haven't really talked to you that much so far in this podcast. Give us a little background of how you got into racing.
Well, I was born here,
Yeah.
born into it. So
Literally born into it.
Born in Winchester.
Yeah.
So then just grew up watching Dad all those years, and then first time I ever was in a street stock, I was terrible. It wasn't for Wade actually. It was for Brandon Maynard at New Paris, and that was an experience. I wasn't fast or nothing, but that got me the itch to do more. And then Wade and Steve got a hold of me that winter to start helping them, and I helped them for a year before I ever even drove while we were putting a street stock together for me, and then drove that street stock for a year, and then raced a sportsman car for a year at South Bend, and then this last season I have the car I'm in now, and that's when things started to pick up. We really started being fast pretty much everywhere we go, and won five races I think now in the last 2 years, and a lot of other strong runs. So
I was say, you've kind of been on rails lately.
yeah, we've had a really good year. I won 3 this year at Plymouth, and 3 seconds to go along with it.
That battle between you and Jaden was really good. I mean, you guys had the best race.
Yeah, I
out there.
screwed up into turn 3 so
Yeah,
bad.
that was a fun race that night. The track was, you beat me to the front. I followed you the whole race all the way until
Oh,
we
I
got
know.
first and second.
I knew you were on me the whole time. I just had no drive off. You could just
Yeah.
walk me down the straightaways.
And then the top lane was dominant that night down there, and you knew we talked about it before the race, and so you put me on the bottom, made me earn it on the bottom.
I felt like I should have pinched you a little more knowing you.
But that was a fun night for sure.
That was probably one of the highlights of the year for sure.
Yeah.
You said when you started racing. Well, I remember you driving you came and drove one of the dirt carts with us when we went to, was that
Oh, yeah,
Akron?
that's
Yeah,
right.
that was
That was
Akron.
Akron, yeah.
That is when I
Yeah.
first.
And Brian drove one up at Kellogg Arena on inside track.
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
a
that's
cage
true.
card up
Cage
there.
card.
and-
Yeah.
Ransom would give me crap for that later. The first time racing was go karts. Probably what? Oh, that had been 8 years ago or better. I was back in high school
That was
then.
a
and
long
Yeah.
time ago.
I think I did 2 go-kart races, and I wasn't very good back then either. No.
My mom wouldn't let him race till he was out of school.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like,
I remember
wanted,
that.
I wanted to get him going long before. But
Yeah, I started racing way later than most people my age. I didn't start till I was almost 21. So
Well, you're doing pretty good.
I say you're off to a really great start. So
Yeah, getting back to him being born here, we rolled into the racetrack and Lori went into labor, and next thing you know, she's gone to the hospital, and it's like, well, Lori's having a baby, and it's like, man, I'm leading the points. It's 10,000 to win the championship, and it's like I had to miss it, So we started 11th, finished third that day, and the following year there was one race on a Wednesday night at Fort Wayne, and the same thing happened again with my daughter Rachel. Pulled in, went into labor. Started 11th, finished third. It was like a deja vu thing, just at 2 different towns.
That's pretty cool.
definitely. So Harl, you got a story you want to say? Part of the throwback stories?
No,
You don't got one
No.
today?
no, I don't got one.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
I guess that kind of goes to the story you told earlier about going to Lakeland.
Yeah, a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, that Lakeland story. Well, I went down there with Udo, and we were looking for Brian, but we didn't know where to go, so we went to Hooters, and lo and behold, Brian was at Hooters. So
I would say that's a good place to check. Brian took me to Hooters my first time this year.
Yeah,
is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you go.
He said, well, Mom and Dad won't let me go there. And I said, get on your phone. Where's the first one?
There you go.
So we stopped before we ever got to Hickory, I forget which one it was.
Oh, that was in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Knoxville, Tennessee. And
'Cause we
got
got
a
a hotel
motel
right across
there
the
and
road.
everything. So it's like we're going to Hooters.
Yep.
And then he got to spend like 2 more days at Hooters
Yeah, literally.
with the Hooters throwback thing and everything.
Well-
We all met there.
Speaking of maybe a throwback, when me and Brian went down there and got the cart for Justin Haley, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And the first place it stopped on the way back was here.
Yeah. So
I mean, it came here before it even went home. We didn't race it, but it was here.
yeah.
That was a pretty cool trip. Go and pick that up.
We'll see. We haven't had to have a chance to get you on this podcast yet, Brian. So let's talk about the Hooters throwback experience down at Hickory. What do you think about that?
I thought it was a cool thing, that they did for everybody down there. Letting teams run the actual number that the cars ran back in the day. Even though the sponsors were their own sponsors, but like you know. Run, like the 42 number when he normally runs the 8 number, just and then the 4 car and Jay's whole car and everything, that just to actually let him run the actual numbers and everything, I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was definitely really cool. We got to see quite a few old paint schemes out there. Shane Huffman was out there.
Yeah, I got to see Hal Goodson, Shane Huffman,
Yeah.
and a lot of people I ain't seen in a long time. That was nice too because, you live so far apart that
Yeah.
it ain't, that you never really run into anybody.
I was gonna say it's pretty cool getting to meet Darren, your car owner. Really
Yeah.
cool guy to talk
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, Darren, I raced, he used to run, his name, that racetrack down there, Benton County Speedway. Yeah, Benton County Speedway, and that's how I got to know Darren, and he used to go down there, and he'd start fast car in the front. It's like, Darren, what are you doing? Let's put on a show for these people in the stands, so I got him to put the fast guy in the back, and, we won like 5 out of 6 races down there that year. And,
So you guys had the program rolling.
oh yeah, we had some always had some good race cars.
So you think a lot of it was just the driver out driving everyone?
No, I mean I probably was a little bit ahead of everybody down there when it came to race car stuff, but you don't get rides in ARCA and don't get rides in Hooters Pro Cup and don't get rides in ASA if you're not a decent driver. You know what I'm saying? So always worked hard at it and probably could have done things a little different over the years. Wished I would have, but it is what it is, and we've had a lot of fun over the last 45 years.
You just touched on it a little bit. Talk about your ARCA ride.
That was a whole different experience, going from racing short tracks your whole life to going to Daytona Speedway, Talladega Speedway, Pocono, Michigan.
You hated the
Charlotte,
super speedways, from what I heard.
No, I never really liked Daytona and Talladega that much, but, like Charlotte and Michigan, I always, Atlanta, I always liked Atlanta. My first time there, we finished 4th. And, that was quite the experience.
That's pretty cool.
So I remember you going up to Michigan and you had to get in someone else's truck. Let them know it went faster than what you could go. Who was that?
We won't talk about none of that. Yeah, I went off into one up in Michigan, and the motor guy thought the throttle stuck. It was like compared to what had been going on. So it's just been, a lot of, got to fly a lot. Back then, you didn't have to drive everywhere. You got flown a lot, and that was pretty cool. It was just a lot of fun back then.
Well, that's pretty cool. So, Isaac, what's to come in possibly 2024 for your racing career?
Honestly, we haven't really talked about yet our plans for next year yet. I guess we'll see how the weekend goes first. Make sure I still have a race car left, but I don't know. I'd like to do some outlaw stuff. I was hoping I'd get to do some this year and didn't get to, but I just kind of feel like that's the next step. I'm plenty competitive in sportsmen's. I feel like I'm ready for another challenge or something, at least around Plymouth, but.
We saw you in Wade's car in South Bend.
That Gambler a long time ago.
Pretty good in that.
Yeah, that was 3-4 years ago, and I'm a lot better now than I was then. So I think it'd be fun to try it again now and see what I could do.
It might be the next FBR in those. It's in your blood, so you should be. Definitely have good racecraft. But Carl, we're only at 20 minutes into the podcast.
Yeah.
We need you to come up with a racing story. We need
How long we got to go here?
about 30 to 45.
Well, I don't know, man. I tell you what, with Brian, I remember at Salem, you tore Salem up good down there in the Pro Series.
Yeah,
You
it
were
was.
fast as hell down there all the time. We went down to Salem.
We took a old Dillon car down there one time with a wet sump motor in it, and it's like I just know we're gonna blow this thing up, I mean, they had old gauge is buried, and Mike come up in the car and he goes run it, and we ended up finishing second that night in it, against cars that were a lot better than what we had. But man, when we drained the oil out of that car, you talk about stink. It almost smelled like urine fluid being burned up.
Wow.
I mean, we took the motor up to the shop to get it freshened after that, and Norm goes, "Jesus Christ, how hot was the damn oil in this thing?" I said, "You don't want to know, just fix it."
Yeah, old Norm, he was good with motors. When I was with Mike and Udo, we'd follow you around a lot of races you went to and stuff.
I've been to 101 racetracks, or raced at 101 racetracks.
Is that right?
Yeah. So,
How many champions you have?
not a whole lot of them.
A lot of wins, though.
Yeah, just a lot of wins. We're over, 250, 300 wins, but we never, like, we'd be leading points somewhere, and there'd be a big paying race somewhere, and off we go. So then when you come back home, and a lot of times back in the day, it wasn't liked very well at some places. They paid double points when I was away, so there wasn't even no way I could catch back up. You know what I mean?
It was surprisingly double points that day. Nobody knew.
Yeah.
Didn't you go down south and race dirt somewhere?
Oh, back in the day, we used to take the street stock down at Crawford County Speedway. They had like a 10,000 to win race there for like 3 years, and we finished second down there once on the dirt.
You raced Plymouth on dirt with a modified for a Rudiman, wasn't it?
For Kim Wheeler.
Tim Wheeler, yeah, that's right.
That just wasn't no fun for me, so I had to bail on that. But you get down south, there's a lot. We went to Skyston, Missouri. There was a dirt track there, and raced, and went to Crawfordsville County Speedway and raced on the dirt. Went to Oklahoma and raced on the dirt. It was just a lot of fun.
What'd you think of it when you got down there between asphalt and dirt the first time?
Well, like Crawford County, it basically turned into Plymouth.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I just took my street stock down there, never took the sway bar off, never changed the spring, never did anything, and wouldn't qualify very well, but we always raced really good once the track got hard.
That's good. That's good.
I was gonna say, you were always able to unload the 57 Chevy. Could be sitting outside probably for like 3 months. You can unload it, and it's fast time right off the bat.
Yeah, that was a pretty awesome car. It's tore up right now, but that car is older year-wise than races it's ran. But every time it hits a racetrack, it's
One of the fastest cars every time.
I built that thing, and it sat there for 8 years before it ever got raced. If I'd bought it out back in the day, probably have a lot of people scratching their heads.
Didn't you build some chassis, some late model chassis as well?
Oh yeah, we built the car we won Winchester 400 with. I built myself, ground up. And probably finished second. Was built on a concrete floor, believe it or not. So if you get things pointed in the right direction, they'll go.
I'd say we definitely seem to be on a good start. Hopefully with the Super, the ride heights looked way better when it was just sitting there on the ground at the shop. So
yeah, we learned something last year in the 400. It's probably my own fault. We didn't figure it out sooner, but last year we picked up like 7/10 just doing some one.
Oh yeah, we found an insane amount of speed out of nowhere.
And we'd found that earlier in the week. We'd obviously qualified better and had a better start spot and wouldn't have struggled through the first half of the race. So changes we made back at the shop now, I'm hoping we can have a really, really good run down here.
It's pretty cool. So
well, we appreciate you guys coming.
Yeah.
I think best of luck
Thanks
to you
for the
out
invite.
yep, no
Appreciate it.
problem.
there. Go out there and kick some butt and maybe
Yeah.
get a trophy. And Brian, Sunday's our day, and
Yeah.
can't wait for that.
Yeah, if we
Go
win
out
the
there
400, it's gonna be a party.
We might not leave till Monday.
Yeah.
I might be late to work on Tuesday for when I got to go to the fire department.
I'm not leaving till Monday, no matter what happens. So.
That works
Well,
out pretty good.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right.
So, I guess you guys wanted to stay here for the rest of the podcast. You guys got things to do. can take off if you want. But,
Alrighty, thanks for having me, Dave.
Yeah.
yeah, no problem.
Thanks, buddy.
And for those who watch, thanks for tuning in.
Well, yeah, I guess it's gonna be a shorter podcast. Harl wants to cut it. He's done for the day.
Yeah,
He wants to go party.
We're gonna get some video of us down here, and we'll throw a little montage of the car and everything. And do
I will
some-
say we will be recording spotter and driver audio finally for
Yes,
the
got
show.
that figured out.
Yeah, finally got that figured out, so that'll be nice for the vlog. But like I said, thank you guys for coming on the show. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Isaac. Carl, thanks for being a part of it, as always.
And we'll throw something together with everything. Maybe release it Monday or Tuesday.
Yep, so we'll do something with that, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Ding dong, they just think they are. Another little wannabe gangster trying to play hard.